Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
A lot of times clients want that we want to automatically advance a candidate or decline a candidate to a particular stage. Like, we don't want any manual intervention of recruiter or manager or any other security group. We want the candidate to be moved forward to a particular stage automatically on a basis of a condition. That is called the automatic stage routing. How to configure it? Just go to your job application VP in view mode and go at the bottom. For example, if you want to move a candidate from review stage to any forwarded stages or you want to decline him, you need to go into that particular stage and click on that. Configure automatic stage routing. If you want to automatically advance or decline from assessment, then you need to go into this and configure it over here. For example, if from review, if I click here, there is a rule already attached and it will navigate it to the highest stage. I think you have gone through this as well. I could see that. This is the automatic stage. What is that rule you have put in? I created the rule for different reasons for job rec. This is also totally fine. If this is the reason for doing the hiring on the job requisition, then it will move it to hire. But it will move all the candidates from review to hire directly. I think you wanted to test the hire VP. It was job rec. The reason on job rec, if I select the reason is specific, then I want to scale. It was something else. This is toggling only. In the hire VP, did you enable the initiation step to toggle automatically? No, I did not. I'm not even aware of this toggling step. This toggling is still incomplete. You need to go into your hire VP again. This is You have only one step right now. Just go here. Business process. And I think on the first step, it is not possible. It should come here somewhere here. Automatic stage routing. How about you create a new rule and add here? I don't think I'll do that. This is called configure automatic stage routing or toggling is the same term. This is automatic stage routing. I'll just select already created rule that age is 18. Age above 35. Let me see the rule. age compensation greater than 35. This is the age only, and it will. If the age is 35, then we want to either decline him or we want to move him to the next possible step. Let me move into offer directly, and if I select anything else, if job profile is hourly, then I would want to decline him. And this is the possible disposition reason I would be giving, which would be reflected in the candidate's communication that does not meet qualification. That is how we can automatically advance or decline. Quite one thing. I now need to look into the offer, maybe also. If I go to this BP, then toggle automatic stage routing. Just click on. That's it. And your setup is completed. And this is a very important feature. Everyone asked for it. Here you could see the automatic stage routing enabled. You can test these particular conditions as well, and you'll see the candidate moving forward or declining automatically. The next thing which we can do is to decline remaining job applications for a candidate or to decline remaining candidates. For that, I'll be going into your higher BP. Here it says we get those options. It's a batch. Here they're talking about ready for hire BP, in that we will be putting in, but in client's tenant we can put it in hire also. I've done that, but let's look at the ready for hire in this tenant. There's one. Work delivered. Step of batch type decline remaining jobs. If a candidate has applied to multiple job applications for different profiles, and if we get selected for any one of it, the remaining job application should be removed from the system. This particular process will do that. And there's another delivered step called decline remaining candidates. For a particular position, a lot of candidates are there, and if the position gets filled, we want the rest of the candidates to be moved out of the system. Workday will automatically run the batch and decline those candidates with the required disposition reason. That is how it could be done. The declining remaining job is for only for one, that candidate whose remaining application will be disposed. And but for the remaining candidate, all remaining candidates will be disposed. Yes, automatically it would be done by Workday. This automatic stage routing is an option to use. The automatic stage routing is different. This is different. These are 3 extra features which could be added. And we definitely tell this to the client. Even if they don't want to know, we still include these at least in our BPs and we explain them. The feature of stage routing. This is only we can add in the hire. In the ready for hire. Yes, we can definitely in the hire also. I've added in some of my clients' tenant. It depends upon the security, also how the setup was done during the migration of the implementation suite recipes. That's why I think in the hire BPO where it is not coming. But in ready for hire definitely could be added. But this automatic state routing is only, it can be used in multiple stages. Automatic state routing could be in any of the stages of job application. And we can move it forward or decline the candidate. Can we talk a little bit about the disposition, how we manage them? And we don't talk about the disposition. Disposition is like maintain. This is the task to create the reasons. These are the reasons, and we have to map it to Workday delivered logic, whether is rejected. He was rejected by the Workday or whether the candidate declined. We definitely have to map our reasons to Workday delivered logics. And then we can also enable our reason for a particular functionality, like candidate withdrew. In that case, we can enable this. Workday will automatically map that if the candidate has withdrawn, then this particular reason would be going like the candidate would not be in the system. And there would be a reason on his name that he has withdrawn. That would be automatically coming on his profile. Then disposition remaining jobs. We have seen in ready for hire, we have added the step decline remaining jobs. We can decline the remaining jobs of the candidate who got selected for a particular profile. The reason of that declining would be selected over here. And right now we have enabled it for this candidate has hired already. This message would be going into the candidate's home account for the rest of his job applications. That is how we do the mapping. Then for disposition remaining candidates. For that also we need to select a particular reason. Job opening is no longer available. Automatically, the candidate would be declining. He would go into his candidate home account and see the status of the job as rejected or declined. And there would be this reason also coming up as a statement under the job application status. Then default disposition when candidate is first. Purging is moving him out of the system due to certain reasons. We can maintain that as well. But I have not seen maintain this purging as of now. But these three are always maintained in the system. Can we add more reason? Like if you have, definitely. We can add any number of reasons, but the mapping is only to rejected or declined. And then we have to go into a job application, VP. For each stage, like from each stage, if a candidate is being declined, we have to maintain disposition region for each of the stages. First, scroll down. When a candidate is being rejected or he is being withdrawn or whatever, only these possible disposition reasons would come in the drop down for the recruiter or manager if they are declining. If the candidate withdrew, then this is the reason which would be coming up. Then if the candidate is being declined or rejected from assessment. These are the possible disposition reasons. Similarly, we have to maintain it for each and every stage. We can have different disposition, reason for different stages of definitely. We have to look into that. Oh, I forgot sharing one document. You asked for the change of recruitment. I'll definitely share it. You have moved the candidate hire and ready for hire VP got triggered for you, and the hire should also have been triggered. But it didn't trigger for you, right? The hire VP. Also because you have not maintained it. I've seen like you have maintained it with only single step. Most you need to configure it properly. And then this hire VP will also get triggered once you complete your ready for hire. Most steps. That's why it is not being triggered. Make sure you are doing this and change your VP on that trigger. If you are changing the job of the candidate, by creating a prospect of him first, then job application, then moving across the job requisition and ready for hire. Then is changeover trigger from recruitment. Otherwise, if you are just going onto his profile and going to the related action, and from there change is getting triggered, then that changeover is from the HCM perspective. Or share one document with you regarding that you become more clear on that. And you can also test like just look out for contingent. Just create a job requisition for temporary filling and create a prospect. And create job application for him, and wherever it is written no employee type support, part-time or whatever. And just move him across recruitment and see which VP will get triggered after ready for hire. It would be contract contingent worker. That should not the hire VP. And if, let's suppose, you have existing contingent work in the system, and now if you are creating a prospect of his profile, and then you are moving him across the job requisition, and then doing the hiring, then what will trigger? Convert to employee, that VP will get triggered. For the existing contingent worker, you can do such kind of testing, but I will share one document with you. And add job is for what? Add job you want to add. Add job is like if you want to add a secondary job to the person's profile. Like change, always transfer, promote or demote, something like that. Add job is you're going to add a secondary job. You'll have this primary job also and secondary job also. Whereas change is completely a different primary job. It means like overlapping, like the overlapping or no. Overlapping is the case where a single position is being held by two people. Add job could be the secondary job which we are going to tag into. It could not be like definitely be aligned to somebody else also. Here doesn't the job. Overlap feature doesn't come here. In which scenario do we use this add job? Like person has one job. Well, maybe get another project or assignment. Yes, I was about to say that. Or job could be like you're tagged to one implementer's project. Or you could also be tagged to support project or enhancement project. Or you're tagged to one proper capability and due to some reason, due to some requirement crunches, you might be tagged to some other profile also, like PMO or some internal trainer, something like that. Then we have to create new job rec. If you want to move with process through recruiting, we have to create job rec, move through our stage of job. Yes, through recording. But if we go to the profile over there also, you can from HCM site initiate, add job. And the promotion is also we can change. Change mine. She is right now logged in as herself. I could see add job and this transfer promoter change on this is different. If I click on change job, what are possible reasons are there? Let's see. Whether there's some change in his data, the motion laterals promotion or transfer. These are the change your answers. That's what I was thinking. These processes should be only triggered via from their profile from HCMM side. Why their edited job application. The job application also provides this feature. Like you can transfer him, like you can create a new, like if you're transferring him. There could be a job rig with different location. You're going to hire him over there to recruitment. That could be done through recruitment or change up could also be triggered from the Workday. Provides two ways of doing the things. And also promotion is not there in job. Change your promotion is like he's moving on to a different job requisition through recruitment. Also, we can do the hiring at a different job pick. Our job is like Bob and this is the employee. And why we are doing this, change our job and what is the position we are going to add then, what would be his job profile, time type, everything over there, any additional details and just some. Here we are matching a different position. We're adding a job and for promotion. For promotion, you would be just simply moving him to different job. Who will be the manager after this change? Which team will this person be on this? What will be this person be located at? Change is also a template driven BP. Here we are going to define what would be his position, next position, then what would be his next job profile, business title, everything they are going to change. What would be his location? Any other details? When he would be promoted. And attachment and everything. Just a second. This is change on. And compensation. There are different VPs for change job also, add job also. We can look out to the right same concept, but this is how it looks like. The P will be same. Either we configure them from job record, we trigger them from a profile. Play. The higher BP will also be same. Change job will also be same. Add job also. And contract contingent work. Everything would be same. Is this ready to hire and hire? How much is the difference? These are both two separate. Ready for hire is a BP, which gives the approval that now we can proceed with one of the four other sub BPs, depending upon the type of candidate. In ready for hire, we are going to select the staffing action type, whether it would be hire or change job or whatever. Ready for hire is part of recruitment only. Hires at Seema B. Hire BP would be triggered in any of the ways, whether the person is being hired from recruitment or HCMAM way. But hire BP would include the onboarding steps and everything. Ready for hire. They don't include onboarding step. Proposed compensation assigned role as small. Ready for hire. Just include the approval step for the staffing action which would be triggered after the recruitment team is done with their work. Ready to hire is mandatory, and after this we get option either hire or add job, change job and everything. Ready for hire is a stage in recruitment and it has its own sub BP. We cannot skip that BP. Understand? In your client's tenant, how is it? Is it ready for hire or hire? They have ready to hire. Yes, they do hire. Then we have hire and then all the hired similarly which we have here. I also wanted to discuss about candidate pool today. There are two types of candidate pool, static and dynamic. The task for that is let's look into static first. As the name suggests, static is like we are going to include the workers in our pool one time and they would be here forever. There won't be any dynamic addition of any other workers. We have to manually add people into our pool. If I click here, we can assign roles also at candidate pool level. We could have talent pool administrator or recruiter or whatever. This is another point. You can remember that we can assign roles at candidate pool level also. Once we have selected started type, Workday will show us this feature to find the candidates now and add it to your pool. This is the report, Find Candidate. We have facets over here and we can just select the criteria and include the people that we can add to pool. This particular report is used for multiple purposes. As is related to pool right now, or just add them to the pool. Whether we want to add to candidate pool, succession pool, or candidate tab, succession pools are part of talent. We have succession plans of pools where we keep collection of candidates who would be taking up the role of a particular position in future. For example, we have a succession plan for CEO position. We have plans for a particular position. If you have a plan for CEO, over there will include the list of candidates who would be the next upcoming CEOs who would be fighting. And they would be in a table format where the data would be comparable. It basically includes their readiness level, their achievable level, their loss impact, like how ready they are to be moving into the next role of CEO. This is the feature of succession plans or pools to keep a collection of candidates who would be fighting or who would be compared for the next high level position. But over here we are talking about candidates pool only and Workday automatically selects the pool which I have created. I'll just click on. What is this? The candidate tag. Candidate tag is basically a way of connecting one object to another. If we want to, for example, in talent, if we want to associate our employer's goal to competencies, that is done through talent tags. Similarly, we have candidate tags also. Again, I'll show you which all candidate tags are there. Wait, let me just show you quickly the one which I have created. Currently, it doesn't have any candidates. Let me check. I have selected. I think I added it in. I added in. Candidate tags. I'll show you. It has 20 candidates right now, and it will remain 20 only if we don't add anything manually. And this is how the table view looks like. Those candidate location, title, certification, skills, resume, and candidate tags are not mentioned here as of now. It would be blank. Few of them already have tags like experience or tech experience. They are being tagged to a particular candidate tag, which would then be used for reporting purpose. If we create a report and in that we put a filter of candidate tag equal to HI experience, then all the candidates who have this tag on their record, all of them would be fetched in that report. Tagging is basically for reporting purpose. If I show you, maintain candidates tag. These are the ones currently in the system. Then if I cancel it, let me show you talent, also how they look like. The task looks a bit different. Talent. As for development items, could be like development items could be tagged to these things. A feedback could be tagged to this competency. Goal could be tagged to these competencies, development item, and feedback. This is something different. Candidate tag is different. Then I think we also have worker tag. I think I don't know if it would be there in the system. Time calculation tags are there. Absence tags are there. Then here comes the schedule tags to worker. I don't know what these are, but tags are basically for reporting purpose. Here they are selected. This is something for future. Running scheduling is like for future. Setting up launch events for future. Time, but just remember tags are for reports. Now let's create. Dynamic. We can define the role. Whatever assignable roles we have created where we have enabled it for candidate pools, all of them would be coming up with a help and we can assign it to a particular position. Like, we have all these filters available by Workday, by how we can filter out the candidates. Like, if we are selecting country, would be India. Automatically, whichever candidates are there in the tenant for India location, all of them would be fetching up. And if in future also certain candidates are being created in the system for country India, they will also automatically be part of this dynamic pool. Dynamic pool automatically updates their candidates based on certain criteria. And these are the criteria for Workday provides. I'll just click on it. We also have to add the candidate manually. Here we don't have to add manually here. We just have to select the condition and Workday will fetch. For static we have to. Let me show you. And we can always edit the candidate pool also. It is not allowing me to edit. Notice, here I have selected India. I put select. Automatically, the count has increased. Generally, most of the recruiters, they maintain dynamic pools only. But there are certain features which doesn't allow the usage of dynamic. For example, if a manager wants to roll out goals for its employees, for its direct reportees, then he could only do it on static candidate pool. You cannot do it on dynamic. That is one drawback. There's when the static pools are used. But you don't have to remember what is the importance of what type of candidate pool. Just remember what is the difference between these two. That's it. Why do they need this recruiter if they want to apply now? This is just a way of maintaining collection of candidates. And they want to be, they would be just coming onto this pool and searching for the candidates. And based on criteria, they can then move them forward. They can move them forward to job application or certain stages in the job application. And secondly was this looking at this option, the MI to apply. These are candidates. They already applied to the job application. By candidate, They are the prospects made. They would then be included in the job application. And they may be invited to apply or manually. This the recruiter can apply. Invite to apply. That was for the Find Candidate job. Find Candidate report. This is how Workday has provided us these buttons. For that, we can invite them to apply. That is also possible. These candidates, here they are prospected. They are not candidates. I think they are the candidates also. I think, for example, I think he is an employee already. Maybe he is a candidate as well for some profile. That's why he's coming up over here. But not all of them are prospects. It means that Find Candidate report, it could have prospect and active candidates. And I think employee as well. Sometimes, I find we are just seeing more. They are employees also. It could be a thing that the candidate profile has been created. For some other job profile, they are in process of being hired into some other profile. I think they should be. Workday, they should be a little bit more verification. They should be Find Prospect, Find Candidate, and Find Employee. Absolutely true. Why are they confused? These kind of ask is already there in the community. We have put these things already in the system and they have created their own timelines. Workday has created their timeline when they're going to provide this feature in future. All these things are already in the pipeline. And they're aware about this. With search by prospect, you can edit that. But I think you can have candidate type mentioned. Wait. On the Find Candidates report, you could also create your own copy of this Find Candidate and include the filters over there. I think this is for a time. There's an option to filter here. Only you can do prospect. A potential candidate for my work. These are the only ones available right now for Find Candidate. The prospect status would be like active. I think new contacted not to be. What is nurturing means we have contacted them also and we have told them that we are going to look. There would be a job opening soon and we are going to utilize. These are maintained types. We can configure these prospect types. And if you want to search for active candidates, because that should also be an issue. Active candidates by stage. I think they're loading it. These are the stages and these are the candidates. You can search for all recruitment related standard reports in the system. and you can look out for that. And my recruiting jobs related to prospects, find candidates. It includes all candidates. Basically, the potential candidates and the former employee that you have access to. Then my candidates would be the candidates who applied to your job requisition or the prospects that you added to your prospect list. Then my recruiting jobs. This will give number of active candidates for your job requisitions. Then we can create custom reference IDs for candidates. If you remember, in the edit and setup task, we have looked into the ID sequence generator section. Over there we saw default IDs for requisitions. We can do it for employees, also candidates, also prospects as well. Over there, we can maintain the format of the IDs which would be attached to the profile. Then set up notification for candidates. There are majorly two types of notifications related to candidates. One is the active candidate. Another one are the recruiting marketing mails like the job alerts. And active candidate communications are like the notifications which we put on the VPs of the job application stages. And those notifications go into the Gmail ID of the candidate or to the inbox of the candidate home account. Just for your knowledge perspective, it's an HCMN concept. There are three types of notifications in Workday. Majorly, one are the simple notifications like how we go to the VP and over there we go to the related action and add notification. And then we include the email body and the recipient. That is the simple way. The second way is to notify certain users who have pending tasks in the inbox. From your configuration perspective, schedule task alert notification. This is the second type of notification. These are called the alert notifications. We would be defining the request name. Then we would be also defining that how many days have passed since your inbox item is still pending. We can define and we would be calculating the number of days based on whether the assignment date, like when this inbox item came into your inbox, or based on the due date, or before date, or none of the above. And for which business process we want to trigger, we can do that. And if we have any alert rules, we can include it. Then here we could define the subject, message, and additional security groups to notify. You might have heard about alert notification. These are what it is. These are for all the users who have pending tasks in the inbox. Then the third type of notification is the advanced notification for specific group. And it is like if, based on a condition, we want to send out a notification, then we use this. And for this we use the task 1 figure alert. It asks for a custom report. Report name. Report will fetch us the audience or the list of all the workers whom this alert should go. and then we'll add our condition rule. Also, your condition rule is already there in the report in the form of filters. Automatically, those people would be getting it. If I select any random report as of now, request name the type of notification, whether it is anniversary, internal notification time of our upcoming shift. We can do that. And here are the report parameters. It doesn't include anything. Then do we want to include any task in the alert? Then who are the recipients? Email notification and the subject. We can make. This is an optional configuration defaulting to general notification. We can, based on these conditions or based on the people we have selected, we can define the task or any information. This could be the general information. Like we can see that the data updated this upcoming anniversary of the company. Something like this, like how we get the company, we get inbox from the company, update every day, right? Update, or like suppose there's a new office going to open up. It's a general notification, right? Or there would be arrival of some onshore people. Please be present. Like that kind of notifications. These are mostly the general notification. General birthdays, anniversaries, time offs, all these things. And what is the purpose of adding this report in there? Report add-in. It generally filters out the list of people who are going to get this notification. Like we have find candidate report, right? It includes list of all the prospects and the employee, former employee. It is fetching out, it is filtering out the people. Then we have a find worker report. It is including all the workers in the system. Like that, we can have our custom reports also. Where we are, let's suppose including all the workers of the location India. We can put this filtration and automatically that report will fetch all the workers based out of India. These are the three types of notifications. Setting up notification, two types. Then these are the domains and tasks related to setting up the message templates for the active candidates and the recruiting marketing security segment. No need of going into this as of now. Then we have a tenant-wide configuration which we need to look into in the task edit and set up notification. And here are these steps. It's a very generalized one-time tenant configuration for all of our three types of notifications which I just mentioned. We can do it, and it is for modules. Each modules we can look into. Like it will improve the channel type, whether it would be through mobile push or whether through email. And what would be the frequency, whether immediately or daily or monthly or like that. Enable candidate to unsubscribe from the marketing notifications. That could also be done. These are the options to do that. A step to do it. If you want to explore, you can do that. Then setting up the reminders. Reminders are different than the notifications. Reminders are like, for example, you have a training to be completed by end of this month. There would be reminders as the notifications which will tell you that now 3 days are pending, 2 days are pending, 1 day is pending. Those are called the reminder type of notifications. One may have alerts, one other reminders. I have seen reminders being added on the learning campaigns or various other campaigns. Campaigns are, for example, you get annual compliance training in your email, ID on your email. Same assignment is given to all the workers in the system. It is done through campaigns. We add reminders. Over there we can set up the reminders also. What are these campaigns? Campaigns are from learning perspective. I'll tell you. It is a way of mass assigning certain people in the system a certain feature. Like it could be a training also, it could be a task also, it could be a to-do task, anything. It could be a task like update your skills, update your profile in the system, that are done through campaign where we want to do some functions on masses. That is a different thing. No need of looking into it. Configure profile group, configure profiles. All these are HCM tasks. You should be aware about these as well. We have worker profile right. There we see the tabs of compensation or overall summary career feedback. All those are configured using configure profile group. We know how to create prospect. Then comes the concept of resume parsing. Resume parsing is Workday delivered functionality where Workday asks us to just submit your resume and he will pre-populate certain fields like the first name, last name, some of the employment history, school, and maybe your address also. Those resume parsing options are available on these tasks. If you open create prospect or create job application, if you put resume, it will pre-populate certain features. Then manage candidate pool. We have seen two types of tools are there. In dynamic pool, we can add 5,000 members, and in static, we could have 2,000 members. In static, we have to add manually. In dynamic, automatically it would be added based on search criteria. Then there's also another feature of candidate merging. Let's suppose a candidate applies to multiple job applications. For each of application, we don't want his candidate record to be there in the database because it would be very waste. We can just enable automatic candidate merging on the edit then setup. HCM task or recruitment task, I don't remember. We just need to enable that checkbox and Workday will take care of it. And how they will find out the duplicates. They will find out if their first name, last name matches and any one of the other criteria like email, phone number or address. Domains like candidate merge domain and former worker storage domain. For former worker storage, users secured to this domain can access information on former workers. And candidate merge domain is basically for merging the candidate or enabling the automatic merging in the system. Then we can have the task find duplicates for candidates. If there are any duplicates in the system and those are yet not mapped, using this report, we can do it. Then we can merge those candidates as well. Manually also we can do that. But I have always seen client asking for Workday automatic enablement of candidate merging. We don't do it manually because it is very compulsive. We don't want to look into the duplicates. and then merge them. We don't have that much time. This automatically candidate merging. Just going to edit 10 setup recruitment tasks. Enable automatic candidate merging. Just click on it and Workday will take care of it. Then when you enable automatic candidate merging on the edit 10, set up recruiting task Workday searches for duplicates for candidates who applies to a job on external career site. And then automatically Workday will merge the candidates with any duplicates. And Workday doesn't automatically merge two candidates if at least one of them has a registered candidate home account. If there's a candidate home account created already for one of the candidates, then Workday will not merge them. This is the condition. And how the algo is run for merging. I've already told you first name and last name, and any one of these fields should be exactly matching up. And how to different position or two different applications. Still, it will be merged. The record could be merged. Like the candidate account, but they still would be asked to. They would still have separate job application. But you must have seen if you're applying again. You have applied, let's suppose, in Deloitte already, and after 6 months you again try to apply with the same credentials. Then recruiter might say that your details are already there in the system. That is the concept of duplicate candidates. They ask you to either create a different email ID and then start with the job application. First name and last name is same. First name, last name should be same. And along with at least one of these fields should match. Only then it would be considered duplicate. Because in real life, the green up reports sometimes apply to good company and they get rejected. They don't apply again. They said, we are already in system. Is it to apply again? I think some companies also have freezing periods where, if you are rejected, you cannot reply again. But if that freezing period is gone, then even if your record is there in the system still, you will be able to apply if the system allows. And if they say there's already a record, then you have to give any of these different things. Like your phone number should be different or email address. This has happened with me. I applied in Deloitte and they asked me to change my email address and then apply. One more thing. We can also request the purge data request and then your all information. Yes, we have a task for purging also, as well as merging. I think purging is better if you apply some way to get selected to purging data and then apply again. Purging should also be there. Everybody is not aware of purging. I said that's true. Third one. Coach can read data. You try to select the report again, which population you want. And then they can. This will include the list of all the people, all the things which should be post related to the candidate. and also what are things should be pushed. Do we want reminders to be removed or in system from system? Person's username, person sign-ons, person's reminders. We can select the type of data to be pushed. And if we want custom objects also to be pulled, we can do that as well. Thank you for Ken. We will go view report on selected population. Right now, this report doesn't include any people. But we can have people also included in the report. The person who applied for purging his name will populate here. And then once we purge, confirm it, and then that person will be removed from the system. I think you have worked on this, right? I think no, it's definitely a good thing. Because sometimes, like what happens if a prospect says we want things to be deleted from the system, or if a former employees are, we should have that option available. Merging is also possible. Merging is like you merge the two profile, is not like you don't delete it. It's still there. It's opposite of purging, right? For example, if a candidate does an active candidate, let's go Shilpa, and she has applied to 3 openings. And what happens for basic general report of the prospect profile would be same. If you want to merge it again, for merging also there is criteria that first name, last name should match, and any one of the exact field should match, which I've shown you. And then only the merging could occur. Merging is basically putting all these applications on one place, one record. If we search for the candidate name, only one record would become. We have a different application, but one record which shows everything. Also, I have shared one activity this week. It's just an end-to-end activity. You can just practice that this week and next week. We will look into your doubts and we'll have a mock interview. I have certain questions. We can go through that just to check. How is your understanding of recruitment? After I share certain resumes, which you can use to just enhance your resume and see how we can discuss further for your future interviews and how you should prepare for your future interviews. And I'll share the job document as well. And please start going through that ebook for this particular activity stream. It is for a lot of other modules as well, like learning. On courses, there could be an activity stream. Then on talent, also when we are creating the templates for goal reviewing or performance of viewing, we could have an activity stream and we have it. Here activity streaming. We have to mention which are objects would be including the activity stream functionality. We can add over here job requisition, or we can search out for anything related to recruitment where all we can have this is provided by Workday. We cannot add or delete any other objects here for recruitment. On the campaigns we can have, it is related to students. We have various universities who are now including Workday. The students, the teachers, the faculty, even the tellers and laborers, everybody would be on Workday. And student is altogether a different module. It is in India like growing, but in the US it is highly in demand and it's a good module, I would say. And the other one is the prospect over here. On the prospect profile, you can have an activity stream enabled. And if I search for job requisition, we had it for job application in our organization. Prospect and job requisition, these two they have. For job requisition, there's a Workday delivered note section which came last year as an update. There would be a note section on the job rec, and the candidate can tag the recruiter or recruiter can make a general announcement for the candidate that everyone can see it. Whosoever is connected to that job requisition. That note is also another thing I want to talk about. Job application activities. All these could be added here. That is the only setup required for stream settings. What's the next step? Now, just a little more about activity stream. How can I use it and how can I make it in my company? This is like editing it. Here, you could see over here, this is the activity stream. I can tag like Logan. Logan, please share this candidate profile. And post it. Now, I'm sorry, this is visible on the candidate or prospect profile at the bottom. Yes, candidate prospect. It would be visible on prospect profile. If you're enabling it for job application, it would be visible on job application. you would get a notification that there is a comment notification. This is how Workday has configured the activity stream automatically to go. Come here, she will see the overview and she would see the comment. And she can put a reply also. Like this activity stream, it's like a chat system. And this is visible on the candidate profile as well, or only prospect. We need to check if activity stream can be enabled for candidates. This is a candidate kind of a thing only, but with the prospect. Let me also see the job rep right now. If in this tenant it is enabled, only recruiter would be able to see that functionality, and it used to come over here. Check it, just come here. It used to come over here. And like how we on activity stream can tag people and chat, the conversation is visible to the candidate to a part of this as well. Like when they open this job, rec note on the candidate home account, they would be able to see the note section. You can check this in your tenant if it is visible. But over here I can see it. Activity stream is for job application and prospect. But this is the job. This is the job they deliver notes functionality. It would be visible on all the job recs. We don't have to enable it. Where do I see it here? Like I don't see it, I think just check. I need to also check if it is in production or not. But I remember I've seen it last year somewhere on some job rec or some client. I learned the book. The book is very old. If it's in the book, it might be enabled. I mean, you said it's recently. Recently enables notes functionality. It came last year in May. But I think this book is a little bit older, 2-3 years ago. We don't have to enable anything for notes. For activity stream, we have to do a set of system, prospect, and job application. Let's see what this. Here it was in 2022 release. And here setup is required. And the system will run. Review date, production date is this. It should be like if you're doing the setup, it would be visible. These are the technical changes required. Like we have to add recruiter. Then you could see we deliver these new domains that you can use to secure access to managing job acquisition and the maintain recruiting tasks. Manage job. These two are the major ones. We deliver a side panel on job acquisition, compensate view, and job acquisition workspace that you can use to add new notes and jobs. You can configure the new domain to secure access to the side panel. Manage job acquisition notes effect check. That is how you're looking to help. It's in. I have to go in editor, then a setup in system, right? No, this is a domain. Manage job acquisition. You need to see the proper setup, what they're saying, the list of domains they have mentioned. You should have access to all of them. This thing that's internet setup is required. That's why I was confused. Do we have to enable anything in the editor setup or just its still domain here? To know, no, we don't have to go into edit and set up task anywhere. We have been not always do setup or make things available to a 10 set of tasks. We might have to enable certain domains, functional areas, PP policies. That is also another way. Or maybe there are certain other tasks like innovation, opt-in services and agreement. Something like that is also there. Workday provides the set of steps needed in that case. Like here, the security domain will give you the access. You can look out over here. And then this maintain recruiting notes is the task which should be visible. But if I check here, does not coming because maybe does not. Let me check. Manage candidate. No job requisition. I have to enable it suspended. What's not enabled? I don't know if I can edit the policy here on the system, but in your system you can check. And job application. It was there in activities to not show his hands here. If you got application where we can see that the stream was the comment. Let's see. On each of the tabs you can see that. If you are enabling it but you can't. These personal notes are the notes. We can add. No, this is different. There is something. A recruiter want to add a note on his profile that I have looked into these things. Maybe I have to come back or something like that. They are visible on job rec. You said in the right side there is a column. No, this is different. This is on the profile. But the one I'm talking about, you will be opening the job rec and it will be at the side panel. And those notes will be visible to all the people associated with that job. But this is specific to candidate only and the recruiter who has the access. The profile. The profile. This is the activity string, but I need to check if this is the job application one or the candidate profile one because I have opened the job application. Let me see if it is the same thing or something different. 1. You see the document coming up on the top. These documents job. It gets data submitted and automatic message sent. And also there's sometimes their document attached here and sometimes we like the offer letter sent and came back. This message is also showing those. If we send an incorrect document and we are to fix it here, how this thing work like this. This whole thing, like you can explain, this is like message. This is like email notification. Email notification. It had the notification channel as email. This is different. And the one which you're saying no, like we have send it back, that will come in the inbox. It would be a proper task. And then the recruiter would approve it. Then it will again go to the candidate and send it back. Then it will come here. I was looking at activity stream on a prospect can be home, but I couldn't see in a job application. Next time we can talk about it. And the second thing is, what is the difference between the candidate home and candidate profile? I get a little confused. It's the same thing. Candidate home and candidate profile. They are different. Candidate profile is like what is maintained in Workday and it is viewable to the recruiter or the hiring manager, like how we are seeing it right now. Whereas candidate home account is something which candidate has created while going on to the external career site and giving his credentials. And then when he logged in into it, he saw a list of tasks in his home account or the ones which he has completed or status of his job application. Candidate won't be able to see this particular worker profile. But I have seen certain clients now who wants to give the hire or contingent worker the access to Workday. But like they are going to have a higher date for sure. That was, I think, their criteria and like they work, their account was created properly and they then would be able to see their candidate profile over here. Same thing happened to me. I had to complete my certain before my hire date. They said they sent me the password and login for the workday, and then there were some tasks, some background check form I have to upload there. They did the same thing for me. Now, with some candidates are able to see this thing, but how the recruiter or manager they communicate, are they able to see the candidate home account? How they communicate through candidate home account with the candidate if they don't have a Workday profile. Like the recruiter and hiring manager cannot see the home account of candidate. It could only be logged in using candidate's credential which he has maintained. The only communication way is like through the VP steps, which could route to candidate as well. Or a same message could be done, like if you go to new candidate. I can select the candidate whom I want to send message and I can do this. Or it would go to the Gmail, or it could also go to the candidate. The next thing is, before I go to next thing, a general question for recruiting certification. They put up a certificate like this one is a day pro, and there's another one that can tell me about those. Maybe in the future. You'll be going for reporting, certification, and for recruiting. I heard about there's a pro and there's another one. What's the difference and how much are we cost and everything? The partnered firms provide the actual recruitment certification. The not partnered firms now have the ability to make the candidates go for pro certifications. You, if part of non partnered, won't be going for recruitment, you will be going for pro certifications. And I don't know about the cost. I can check it in my learning system for my company and will let you. I don't know if I can even see the pro learning certifications. Do you have the learning portal right now? No, I haven't checked it. I have it. Is your company work like implemented Workday? Yes, but in our partner, they implemented Workday a long time ago, around 2014. But they didn't use the whole functionality. They're using some tasks manually. Sometimes they do it in Workday. They might have not implemented learning module right. Otherwise, in learning, you could have browse course content. Learning, virtual learning. I think we have learned it. You can just go to your Workday account and type in browse learning content and search for pro recruitment certification. You'll be able to see the list of all the offerings, like all the batches for that 30. And what is the cost? You will be able to see. The partner firm, they allow their buy to get the certification, but non-partner firm, that's a good thing. Like at least non-partners, they have the stability. What happens now? There are a lot of non-partners firms and there are only 50 partner firms. And if somebody is moving out of country, they would be going for non-partner majorly because they hire people. And now Workday has given the license to non-partner firm that you can make your resources pro certified. I don't know if pro certified is specific to any module or anything. I have only heard about pro. I've not heard about like pro recruitment or pro compensation or anything like that. Pro certified is more general. Like it could be. What do you think? Are you on LinkedIn? You can just type in the pro certification of pro certified. We get a list of people. Just talk to them. What was the issue and what is the background behind this? You also have a recruiting certification. I was thinking which one you have. Is it pro or the different one? Because some people only get certified in recruiting and compensation specific module. How do you do that? Partners have certifications for each module. I recently got certification in learning. I had a different batch for that. Then I got certified in seller. I had a different batch for that. Partnered firms, like they have certification for different modules. But I feel that for non-partners, there is only pro certification, which will help also. Which will also help like the partnered employees of moving on to the non-partnered firm to retain their individual module certification. That is where Pro is helping. Thank you. The next question is the mass upload candidate via EIB. How do we use that functionality for recruiting? Have you worked on EIB? Yes, I did. Have you looked into the EIB template for candidate? No, I just only saw one-time payment. Just have a look for the candidate. And when you're downloading the template, just like you'll be having certain data in your system, right? Just select that. Include the data from the tenant option when you are downloading EIB. You'll have a list of candidates with the data. It will be helpful for you how you're going to populate things on the fields, on the columns. Just that. Just down the EIB. It's not very tough. Now the web service. Which web service should be used for this? And I think, what can I say? That was the main thing. If you don't remember anything, just type in candidate and you'll be able to put that. Put and get right. Put is like you are putting things into the website. Just like you're extracting inbound and outbound. Yes, this is inbound. Like this candidate. Put candidate to this candidate. This is the web service. If you want to mass upload the attachments per candidate, you can have this. If you want to mass upload photos for the candidates, if you want to have a list assignment, you can have. If you want to mass refer a candidate, you can have that. This would be the suitable one. Thank you. And one very common question, the common ticket I'm getting all the time is the recruiter hired someone on a job requisition and then they realized the job requisition was wrong. It has some error in that and that question is filled. Then they said, take it to go back and change the job, cancel all the business processes. That creates a lot of confusion how to do something. Like somebody is hired on the job, like one time payment is set up, the assignment is completed, everything is done. Now they want to go back and cancel all this transaction. How to change the job once it's filled, how to make it available again and open again. You can have the task edit job. It will lead to trimming of edit job like BP. If a job break is closed, now it is closed forever. But the one which is freeze or filled, like that could be changed, but not the closed one. This is open. You can also move workers across job rec. There was some functionality. I think you open job rec, then it might be easier. This is open. This is already open. But let's suppose if somebody has been hired onto this like it is unfilled right now. Click here. I could have reason to place my book. Why not seeing number of openings? Maybe it is only for this position. And like it is only for this particular position, it has only one opening right now. We can move from one worker to another, but click and check the job. It doesn't have any candidate. Do you want to convince my rec? It I think RUM40. Let me check 1 second. For, uh, I can move candidate like that I know from one job to another. How do we do that? Candidate movement is very simple. Wait, I should move to another show. Oh, I could copy to another job as well. Like he could be part of two job recs at the same time. I think that might help. What you're saying, you don't want to create a new job, right? You use the same job, right? Which is filled, but now something you want to open it again. And then, in case of filled, you have to first edit the job rec first. Add number of openings, and then move the candidate to that job rec from the job rec he is currently in. Is this someone whom you have hired? Future, I mean near future hire date. Not properly. Enable job requisition for position management. This is for position management. My company doesn't have this label job rec for job, and they don't even have job rec. This is the only use position for an avoid. Which one they have selected? The position management and the job. The job rec for job management. They don't use the job management module. This is unselective. They don't have it. They don't have it. I don't know how the mass upload. Especially when there is acquisition. They have to. I don't know how do they. When the company acquire a small company, a big company, how do they bring all those people inside? They are doing it on their virtual positions for the job management, and they are doing like bulk hiring through that template. Hire BP. What happens when they are putting in hire details and they're hiring? It will lead to triggering of hire business process for a lot of candidates. That is all they're doing while hiring for virtual positions and not through job requisitions. They don't need job rec and all those processes. They don't need because they just only use the staffing business hire. You might have done that in your HCMN training, like on to work. Like you went, like you created pre-hire first, then you hire the employee, and then they were visible on your supervisor. Similarly, we have ERB templates also for hire for creating the pre-hires. And like if you are loading pre-hire, then you're loading the hire. Once the hires get loaded successfully, you know they will lead to triggering of hire business processes. One by one for each of the candidates. VAB load pre-hire. For a position on the bulk hiring, then we use a virtual position. And the one you're talking about, the staffing ones, I think require job requisition for all position, hiring, staffing events, and for position based on rules. Your first question was there was job requisition recruitment and job requisition staffing, right? I said for job break and that these two options pop up. I was thinking why they have two. They should be one job. The job using staffing. If you open it, can you close those job breaks? No, I should have checked. I will check it. If you're editing, I asked one of my friends because I wanted to give you the answer. She's saying that, yes, we can edit the field job requisitions, but as those needs to be unposted and posted again. But I checked this and we let you know on this. We can edit. We cannot edit the closed job break. We can edit the field ones. And let me wind up my question with this hire. We pre-hired, loaded by EBB, then we use virtual position and we hire. And then the pre-hire uploaded. Then we have to manually trigger the hire with this process. If we can figure it automatically. We don't have to manually do it. Once our EIB template is successfully uploaded and work, you know it will automatically lead to triggering of hire BPs for all of those candidates. Like how you're manually creating pre-hire, then using the hire employee task. And you click on submit and it leads to triggering of hire BPs. Similarly, once you just approach successfully the EIBs, it will lead to triggering of higher BPs. And this position, it could be different position, it could be manager, maybe individual interpreter. This virtual position work for everybody, like how we have a lot of profile positions. Virtual positions are for job management. For position management, we have the actual positions. You can just have a look on the higher EIB template. That would just erase all your doubts. I'll show you the document. I know with my company, what do they have? Because they don't have this job management, even a label in that answer. I don't know. And they require a lot of company. I don't know how. How do they bring people inside the company? That would be using EI. Even job requisitions can also be loaded using EIB. We don't create job breaks manually in the system. I don't know, my company. They use manually free job break. And then if we have to create 4 or 5 job resets, it's better to be created. Otherwise, once they could be doing the implementation and client says that we want to upload the historical data for last 2 years. Means we want last 2 years job breaks. Either they are filled open, close, freeze, whatever. In that case, we would be using EIB or advanced. Then we can now use the PUT web service. We can even maintain workbooks in our drive. That is also a good feature. But that is like it is available for all the modules. But notification is majorly specific to recruitment. I have option of drive my file, share my file, favorite, recent, template, and drive. But I do not have an option to create. Notification designer. It means in your tenant, like you have not used this functionality. It allows a notification template was nowhere used in the system. I feel if you will type in notification template. Nothing is coming. When we click on tablet, there should be option of creating template. If you are creating template, I know in a drive. When you are in the drive, yes, we get that option. When we click on new, it's giving me an option here. Actually, when I go to drive, can you quickly screen share? This is on my job lab. No issue. No. That is where you can configure the notification template. And you'll be able to add pictures over there as well, along with text and dynamic fields. Like, if you remember, in offer template, we were able to add layout, but it was done by the integration team, right? Like, if you don't want their involvement, then we can have this particular document also like included. Or we can have this notification template also being utilized on notifications as well when we are configuring the notifications. If you will just click on template, no, just have a look how it looks like. Give me 1 second. It's have document template, notification template. And if I let me go on sandbox, because it's like it's kind of going to express my own production, don't do anything. I'm going to the drive in sandbox. And then if I click on new and click on notification template, it asked me for a name. create template and then create template, and then you have to put it on, and then it's giving me build your own, build your own. Let me see build your home. It has top banner column custom BP notification, job alert in right to trial campaign. Over here on all of these places, we can have the notifications. Template 2, where all it said alerts and invite to apply recruiting campaign and custom BP notification. Custom BP notifications. We can design notification here and we can use it in our job alert. We can use in our business process. Here you can see notification template is also coming into picture. Likewise how whenever we are creating over there the template, now it will come here as well. And then the next one was alerts. In order to create alert notifications, the task for that was the one you show. It was for the business process. This one was the custom BP notifications, and this is the generalized task. I'll be including the report. Randomly, I am choosing something. Request name, general notification of whatever. Then the task recipients, group notification subject. I'm going to create this and wait. These are like the alerts. I'm sorry, this is for your job alert. I'm sorry, you should. It is for the job alert. If you go to the maintain job alert or job alert, here you. Here in the job, we could see brown job alerts application referrals. If I click on manage, we're going to type the template here like we were doing in the business process. Let me just type test notification template. This is the one which I get at time. Maybe on the custom report. But no, whatever, we don't have that option. No, but not here. Layout is different. How the report will look like. Wait a minute. Can you check the job alert option? Create job alert in your system and check if there's any notification field. When I click on job alert, it says job alert external candidate, job alert internal candidate. Put internal. It doesn't allow me to select it. They're both. I just have to apply. Let me apply or see what it's doing. I think for job alert, it's giving me a notification template and giving some toolbar where I can select different colors, size, and then job posting title, and then job posting title apply. Message body placeholder. Look a little different than what we have. That is how in production things looked. Where you could see this. When you go to Drive, go to. We have to go to Template and then create notification template and select Job Alert. Then I don't think that we have option here in this tenant. We don't have that. In your Drive itself, you would have the type of notification you're going to include. And it will ask like write what you said. No. For internal type of candidate, if you're selecting in the filter for the job alerts internal candidate, it will give that template. And if it is for external, it will give that particular template. And we have to build the whole template here and then apply. And where else notification template is used? The message template or body text, popular to say you have a notification. And this message template is different. Notification template is different. Job posting template is different and email template is different. Notification template, like definitely you'll be getting it as a notification, but it is restricted to what all things you said, like job alerts only and on custom BP notifications over there. Email templates could be added on the custom notifications as well. That's right. And what was the third one? Job alert. No, job alert is different. Job alert will have a message. Either we could manually type in the message or we could attach message template. No need of remembering these things when you're configuring. Now you will get those fields and you will be able to record. I have to add this over here. But notification template is created from Drive. And you should also remember workbooks can also be maintained. Let me see if they have workbook. They have workbook, but I don't think they use any of it. You can create it. Give me an option to create it. But let me see if recent, what do they have in recent? Recent, they have notification template, which I just created, and their job rec change, not books, are there. They are using modify, job change, default definitions. These workbooks are used for changing the job. Right. clicking on that. What is saying inside? It's loading workbook. It has a job rec and the edit reason and action. What is happening? This is giving a data. When the job rec was changed, what was the reason for the role assigning? And then when they unpost the job, and when they post the job, who did it? Workbook. What is the purpose of this workbook? Like just to remember, and more is to maintain the data on cloud Workday cloud itself, rather than putting it on our personal drives. It is saved forever in this way. And like we can do a lot of functions on workbooks as well, like we can, I think, also extract data directly from workbooks on some modules, like for payroll and benefits. I think they maintain a lot of workbooks. They have a lot of data which they fetch from Workday Cloud itself. Got it. I'll just play with this notification template later in Sandbox. And let's see what can I do with this. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry, you said something. No, I'm looking at this notification template. I'll go to the drive next week when I get a chance. I'll go to try to play with these things. What are the options? It also has notification template for invite to apply and also for recruiting campaigns. Okay, recruiting campaign. Let's see how it looks like. We have different types of campaigns. For recruiting, this is the one which we are going to select and we are going to define the category also. Like it is not there right now. Nothing is there. Then we should have audience also. Like to which all people it should go, and the type of audience we can create is through candidate pool, which we are maintained. And even if I select candidate pool, the level, that is the dynamic. That is the dynamic. Override default users like, let's suppose, if the person who has created this campaign is terminated, then we should give somebody else also the chance to run this or to edit this. If I select this, I could mention the people who would be having the same access as Logan. Start date. I would like to have it for today. We have campaign event DP for this. Let me just submit it. I have not added any content right now. It is just completed. I think I don't have the access of adding content. Could you please check if you have? You could see in audience automatically. 33 people are visible from that candidate. Could you please just check if you have the option of adding the items? Are you talking about a GMS tenant or my job? No, knowing your client's tenant. A GMS would have the same access as me. it doesn't give me an option to create campaign. It says create campaign worklet. Campaign worklet is different. It means in your tenant. It means in your tenant. This feature, this functional area or this domain itself is not enabled. You're not able to see this task. Create campaign. No, I have create campaign worklet. That's it. I don't know. I have one. Create campaign. There's only one report. This is the report. Task is only create campaign. What it will do this worklet? This worklet will include the type of campaigns. Currently, we only have onboarding campaign type selected. Let me go to the scene of production. Do I see the task? I'm not going to do anything. Just check if I have. It's only giving me the option of campaign worklet. There's no point of having campaign worklet if if we can't create campaign. Also, like in recruitment, now campaigns are not very popular because all our work is done through the job alerts. Through the notifications we put on VPs, and invite to apply is also there. That is why we don't. And also we can send in bulk the message to the candidates to our job requisitions. That's also possible. That is the reason why a lot of clients don't understand the feature much. But what is the purpose of using this campaign? I didn't ask the question. Basically, campaigns are used in learning modules a lot. For example, we get the email item for annual compliance training. Right? We get it in our Outlook. That is a campaign, and it has the items like the courses for the annual compliance training. Then, if a person is a new hire, then also he would be asked to complete certain set of trainings. Those are delivered to him through campaigns. Through campaigns, we can deliver certain tasks and certain messages on which he can work for them. I get this learning the Workday learning. I have somebody send me a link, and when I log in, I see the same profile like my Workday profile, but it was different than my regular Workday profile. And there I saw the option of learning. I click on that, and somebody assigned me a short course. I completed that course through the learning, the same thing which you're saying, but surprise, I'm surprised. Why didn't I have this option of creating how they're sending if there must be something they enable there? That's what they're able to send me the message to complete their training. Means what access? Like I'm not saying that maybe I don't have a security for this create campaign. Because generally campaigns are created by content creators or the learning admin. You won't be having the access, I feel. But it is there in my company they have it because I did the one Workday learning course via this campaign. Got learning what it is implemented. It's similar to the work. They give you a link and you click on those that you put that link and you see a screen just like your profile, but it only has a couple of content and say learning. Can you look out for this task? View campaign. Once again, you know it's saying your campaign works. Let me go. Let me open the actually one of the work. Let me be. I'll see something. Worklet is different. But inside the workplace, they should have the campaign type right. Campaign. Like I have, they have our onboarding campaign. Type is onboarding. The generally during the onboarding no or over here what you could see. Getting started is also another something related to onboarding only. We want the new hires to have a worklet on the homepage with a name, the campaign or required for you. We have in learning campaigns required for you. Category type means they definitely have to do it. On seeing the required for you option, they'll click on it and they'll see the list of all the trainings which are mandatory for them. That is how on onboarding page we can have the campaign learning booklet. But recruitment is not very famous, to be honest. That's why I didn't think too. That's why I didn't think too good at it. We need to check the evergreen requisition right. Did you created any evergreen requisition? I think I did in the beginning. Let's see. Can you recall the name for that? Alpha. I think I use all the acronym Alpha. It's easy for me too. Alpha is not there. Let me stop Roxy and check. I think you know a way. Let me see Yolenta School. Is it giving me Sasi to at the high level? I think I am the father. I think I have told you this one last time. I have told you. You are knowledgeable here. I would, or it should be, if you have a position right. I'm not going to stay with that. I don't think. Maybe I didn't create it. Let me create quickly an evergreen requisition. And in the meantime, can you tell me the job profile you have used for your job? I use Alpha Director and for Manager there too. Supervisory org is not important. There are no number of openings here because we don't recruit. We just collected collection of candidates. That's it. based on the common job profile will get the job right. These are the ones as per your job profile. Your company cost. Center region is not mandatory because we are not hiring anybody. You have evergreen requisition BP configured. I don't think we can check. Can you quickly create evergreen requisition BP or date? Maybe something is there. Cool. Let's use the common minority. We have not selected any support. It will be tabbed to any BP. It will trigger this one. And if possible, let me check if I can edit it. 4 items are there. Do we have these people assigned? I don't think. Let me check if I can. No, I cannot even edit the supervisor. What I'll do, I'll just remove evergreen requisition steps. I'll just remove it. I'll just remove it. Evergreen requisition must have a step. I think it means of pressure template. Please, other assigned role to signed role must be there. They're saying, it seems is more than if the user there is. Thank you. Au revoir. Do you have manager? Your manager must be there, right? For your job. Logan was a hiring manager and we'll see if it is not. You could have also recruited Logan for sure. Let me make the fourth step as the ablation step. In every business process, we have to select at least one business process step as a no. This is how Woft has created Evergreen. It's not for everybody. Because in some business process, when I submitted definition, it gave me error. Some step. For some, it will give you a submit a lot. The process got completed, but I fully check now. We don't have these. Sign role itself was a sub process. We forgot to review it, but luckily it was not required. Evergreen acquisition got created. Create job app. What is the name of the evocating acquisition? I have to attach the resume. I think tied to this job record, never going to proposition will trigger when you post, when you apply. It will trigger the job application business process, but it will not hire anybody until we link it to the you see. It will trigger the job application BP. Now it will trigger the normal job application BP because they are not tied to support. And after offer, we'll see how it will go. Let's see. Now you have to add it has entered and it is going to 16 people. Let me do one thing. Let me move candidate to offer. Offer is not visible right now. No issue. Let me move into assessment and see how it works. Like we submit the other job break. It doesn't automatically trigger the business process, job application, business process when it is. It has triggered the job application DP, only it has triggered. It's just that it has triggered the default definition. We cannot see offer anywhere. If I schedule interview, it should be reassigned. I don't want to look into that. Let me move forward. We can move forward without resigning. Like if you have without resigning also, like he could be moved forward. But his process will still not be completed. Background check is only there. Let me click on. We don't have any other option. And if I pop on the job application, BP default definition, it has like from review, it has been noted for reporting available right, but we were not able to see ready for hire and offer. And from reference check also offer was there ready for hire was there, but we were only able to see background check. Through Evergreen, we won't even have the option of seeing things. Let me just click on and let me just cancel it and open this job requisition. It is linked to 3 job requisitions. The person is in background check, but his offer VP has not been triggered. Let me go to move to link job rec 1 to 40. There are no candidates. Now let me open your job break. I could see this particular person. And now, if I want to move forward, the next step is of offer automatically and ready for hire, and then offer would be triggered from here. Through Evergreen, we are not able to see those options. But from here, like even if you are in background check, no, or reference check, still it will give us the option of offer. Yes, that is how it works. However, it helped us. It helped the recruiter to make the candidate go through the initial stages and then decide if offer is required or not. Even the background check was also done, reference check was also done, and then offer could be generated. This is what it means. What were other doubts? And I checked. We can edit the field job requisitions as well, but the only thing is we have to unpost and post it again. But we can edit. Oh, can show me the example. Do we have anything here? I don't think. In this tenant, we can. I checked in my client's tenant. Now there are no proper items here, but definitely we can edit it. I did the whole test. But we have to move from unfilled to unfilled to unfilled to us and then, but edit job like VP should be configured properly and the view job bricks. They come by category. Also, I don't know why here they are not coming like field, closed, open. They come like this right at job, like it is coming in my tenant. Let me check in my tenant if the job right. And then it's giving me job reg by supervisory job, right by organization hierarchy, not by type, but oh, by organization, by location, by a manager. It's also not giving me the option of field, or maybe if we do view job break, let me see that type. Not sure that's different now. You can search it on community also. You'll get options there. Otherwise, I'll send you the community post option. You often employment agreement statuses set up recruiting. This is something different. In this requirement, they are asking you to rate the off acceptance rate. It means that how many candidates have accepted the offer? That is what they need. I looked in my tenant. They have offered process time by step, but they do not have any offer accepted report. There would be something in the community, I think. Definitely in community. Community works on weekend, we can try. No, it doesn't. What you need to configure. Let me just give you an idea. You're going to create an advanced report. And data source. Let me check also if something is there. Remove this optimized performance. It will give you more data sources. Active and renegotiated offer employment agreement events. This reporting data source gives you access to all offers and employment agreement that are in progress, approved, or in negotiate. Basically, we don't need this thing, I think, because these are the in progress offers. I'll just look into. Let me look into candidate. Then this would be find candidates. Because we are going to fetch the data from the candidate's offer event. And we cannot take worker, we have to take candidate only. Job application, office status. The office status of the latest job application in the offer. I think this might help you a little bit. Job application offer status that we are already looking into. But let me check this business object and see which or fields will come. Offer this not much. Let me just check with this. All of them are blank. Maybe there's some issue in the data source which we have selected. I think it is still fetching in the candidates as the workers. It is not fetching in the data. We have to look, we have to do a lot of trials and testing, and only then a report gets created which then would further be used to move dashboard. What did this created moment? I haven't used this one created moment. Created moment for your offer. What time the offer was created? Day of creation. Because they're looking for something, I think, by 2022. I don't understand the whole requirement. While to get it. Since we have used the find candidate, we cannot change it. But try testing it with worker for HCM reporting as the data source. And it might give you an idea. But the best would be to first look out in the community. I think this is a very common requirement from the clients. You will get Not necessarily the condition which they have shared, but something similar you'll get. I'll also try to search in my client's tenant. Then comes the second sourcing strategies. Measures the impact of recruiting shot. Some strategies with it. Again, I think this would be present in the GMS tenant. No, this is different. Maybe source for a report. This is one thing. Like it is telling you, like, wait, these are the various sources in the tenant, and this is how they have performed. Like for website, corporate website, 14 people were sourced from here. And this is the percentage of the source effectiveness. This is how it is. But let me check your requirement. Sourcing strategies basically is again checking the impact of recruiting strategy and market landscape, determine ROI of tools, where to invest resources. They're indirectly checking the source of productivity now, how it is measured. Here they are talking about how many people came into the system, how many candidates came through these sources, then how many interviews were conducted and hires. These would be indirectly the filters on the report flow, interview and hires. If I look into the count, I could see the candidate stage, company, job break, manager, recruiter, and source. See diversity reporters there. Try to show them the standard reports first, right? See me and female distribution, ethnicity management level. This report looks very nice, right? Employee population trained by gender, people manager proportion. And then there are a lot of others as well, I think. Then diversity of gender by management level, ethnicity, age group, location. Quarterly diversity metrics are also there. And diversity include both the race and gender, both. Like the different type of employees we have. Different type of employees could be on the basis of gender also. And even like the LGBTQ. That percentage also. Nowadays, companies are branding themselves with the percentage of these people. All this age management level, everything. Sorry, the differences. A slate like specifically used for just a second. See, these are the reports for diversity. There are 6 in the system. The standard reports. These are the standard reports. This calculates all these data, the candidate's distribution, the person, gender, weight. Now what you're saying? There was these slates and the slates. Diversity slates, I think, would be these only gender ethnicity management level. All these things, I feel. And on the right side of the same requirement, they say is how it measured is likes to 50% female, 25% diverse interview panel 100%. I don't understand why the interview comes here. Diversity slates and interview panels. They are also looking into the interview panels, like how the interview panels are also set. Whether are we including the all kind of genders or are we only including male people for the interview? That kind of measurement is also done, right? Show them all these diversity reports. First of all, how do you quickly know which one is standard report and which one is custom? You just look at it and then you know. No. Workday standard report is the task. We have to mention the category or we can just skip it also. And the count would be too much. That's why it's loading. Four title items are there. Seat provided by Workday. And here's the report domain. We cannot put filter here other than the category, I think. Just take an export of it in Excel and then try to search. The name would be searchable. Then you can search it here by just with that particular name. In the Excel format, we can search it. I just downloaded it now. Click on it, download it, and this is how it will come. You can put in the filter. This, you can do it for each and every report also, like just search for any repository. If you have where all the reports, custom reports for your company are extracted and put in, even on community also, just search for such kind of zip files where all the reports are present. Just talk them about the interview panel. Like what it means, like do you want equal proportion of females and males in the interview, or what? Ask them also the requirement. Then open an aging requisition. I think there would be something related to this. This looked like similar to sourcing strategies. Job aging is like when it was created and how much time it took to fill the candidate, or how many of them are open still. That is Here we have the report. Job requisition. Just show them this report. They will ask you for any of these prompts if you want to look into, or they are not mandatory. I can just click on. It is giving the recruiter's detail. Like it is fetching in the detail based on the recruiters. You can show them this that it is based. It is on the basis of recruiter, or you can also even copy it and put a column here of job requisition name somewhere. And this is a matrix report. No, it is not a matrix. It's a standard report, but you need to copy it in order to make changes. This standard report can be only converging into advanced report, or you can change, like if I want to make matrix report from here. Just copy and I think the type would be the same. Show them this, or just have an idea of how this has been created and create for your own. You see how it is written. All the job you can, it's a matrix report. And we can only change the data source. See like it is fetching in the detail based on the recruiter. If we can add a job rec, because then let's see all the possible group by field. They have requirement 0 to 60 days, aging 60 to 90 days, and all 90 plus. We're based on now. You can create it on the basis of job records. Then I will filter. Just try to play around with this. Then your last is candidate hiring manager. Experience measures our perception of process and execution. What it means. Perception of personal education, like how they perceive the process and how actually executed candidate hiring manager experience. Basically, they are looking into the feedback. Perception of process and execution. That's very weird. Say net promoter score and PR. This is another new term. What they are, all it tricks. Exactly. It is only related to interview. Generally, we have the feedback steps that could only be included in the interview. BP. But we can just roll out them a survey or a questionnaire and they can fill in the response. And then for that particular survey or questionnaire, we can have the responses being prepared. It's like you can have the ratings only in the survey. You can create such kind of question, or in the questionnaire you can have only like the rating related questions. And then the responses could be checked in on those questionnaires. How the content looks like. We were examining the onboarding dashboard. I just created a dashboard actually. Great. Let us check that. And some of the work they delivered report were not available here. And they were not available in my tenant as well. My company. The thing could be that from the GMS, when we were working in an implementation project, every client gets a GMS tenant also. From there, some of the custom reports might not have been migrated. Because I was in production tenant, and I check for one of the report that you can open. My dashboard is Alpha Recruiting. Recruiting is the second one. You took this. This is the section name right. There were 6 of these. And over here you have included the report. And why it shows only 3 content? Because maybe in your dashboard you have gone to work methods. The settings. Maximum 6-year allowed domain candidates for my jobs. No announcement. Content is like only one tab you have configured, and in that no worklets. That's why there were no worklets. The same things like this have happened in your dashboard. When you have the same categories that you have made them inside, they hold the same information, they allow the same things. They are not able to come in, and those things are not available at any time. When we have there is a service entity, it's usually not allowed to come fill it out. Right? And this is what the logos are. Not in here, but I see that when I start the task over this standard report, I can see that what is there notable to access that report. Here it it's standard report, right? You won't be able to see the configuration. You have to copy it and then make the changes or see the configuration. But if I don't see the report, you see, I don't see that. I couldn't find this report. Is your tenant like a remote desktop? Yes, it's a laptop. I'm logged in as Carol and she has access to these job breaks only. I need to first log in as Logan. You need to copy it and then do it. We have created one custom report. What I'll do, I'll share in the chart itself, not Excel, that you can configure it. When I search by standard report and all the report and I export into Excel, I would see that there. But when I search it, it's like you're able to see it from standard report. That's but like this, you are not able to see your thing. Now, if you try to add this report in my I think you have the access. Any report I want to add in my dashboard, I have to copy it. I cannot add the standard report. Now you can add the standard. You can use this in your dashboard as well, but if you want to check the configuration or if you want to make changes in the confirmation, then you have to copy. Let me just add it in your dashboard. Wait, here you are saying, we also need to check the domain which we have selected. It's not a custom. Here they are only taking the custom reports. See, I forgot that. That's the reason why they're not coming. I have to copy it and then now let me run this dashboard and see if these 6 items are coming or not. The reason we were not able to see is because some of the domain access which we have included on the dashboard was not given to Carol. Now we could see it. We then have to look into the domain which we are attaching, and if that domain has the required security group, we should have access to the dashboard. We have to check that also. When I was creating the dashboard, it was asking the domain. I didn't know which reports have which domains. I just randomly selected the report which was matching my requirement. But I had to do more work on that. When you are configuring for your client, then you have to make sure the right security groups are given in the domain which you are going to attach. I think the views security of secureable item. Then I type the report name and then check all the domain, and those domains should have the security group. All those domains have to be. No dashboards, we cannot share, right? Like how we can share the report or to some restricted users. Dashboards totally depend upon the domain and which modules, which security groups are there. Over here, you have added the menu option and in that you have added the report. You can add the task also or any external link. But these are the sections you have gone. If you want to have different tabs, then you need to include 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of lines in your content. Like that. If you can add it, go to the edit mode in tab. Oh, we can have more like here. We can only have the booklets. This was the part I was confused like how they were to type. I think they were create bulletin worklet and create campaign. This is alright. Let us create this bulletin worklet first. This particular worklet would be available to me. This rule is looking into that part. Video, if you're putting any video here. What would be the title, description, image, URL, everything. And these are the things we can include on our worklets again. Actions are like the task which we can perform. We can add only one populate data. And over here also we can add only one. I think I created yesterday. I have not shared it. Maybe that's why it's not coming. Any video you want to. Let me attach any. You It is giving me access to all users by default. I don't think that there are any booklets in the system. Let's check this one. And let me add menu as well. There were two options like create the bulletin worklet and create campaign. Is it the same thing or a little bit different? Like it will have certain details related to the campaign also. See here, we should have the campaign created in the system. And right now we only have the onboarding type of the campaign. Like campaign is basically a way to give a particular task or any announcement for any survey or questionnaire to people in bulk. Right now we only have onboarding one as the campaign type and the system. And I don't know if we can create any one randomly. No audience, nothing. We are not able to see any ad item. I think in your tenant you would be able to see. But in production you should not do the testing and sandbox. Try to look if you can create anything. This is the campaign dashboard. Here are the sections with the task and the reports, and here are like the worklets, which includes the custom reports. All show the one which we are creating. Basically, it's a way to give a task or survey and you're learning anything. Learning is also included. For learning, we have a lot of campaign related to that over there. Through campaigns and learning, we assign the annual compliance training or the new hire orientation training, or we can, I think, even send the surveys. But we generally do the learning content, launching only. And on the campaign dashboard or the custom dashboards of learning, we can then track those learning progresses for workers or which is the most popular content and what is the progress, how many people are doing it and how many times. Like that. Learning involves campaigns. Definitely. Recruiting doesn't much because surveys and questionnaires are more than enough to have that interaction. We were looking into this. Onboarding is here right now. See, Worklet was giving us an error for this onboarding type 8. All users are familiar with that. All users are familiar with that. This is an example of bulleting work. Like, oh no, this is what we have created here. All active employees. What is the issue? Looks like there's some security issue. At the beginning, when you're creating a dashboard, you don't know which domain we should add, right? Initially, we don't know, but whenever we are creating any dashboard, we first research about it. We look at into the GMS tenant, look at into the community, and whatever documents or whoever's our mentor or everybody, any SharePoint link, and then we can do that. We definitely get a lot of issues like how we are seeing it, and then by hitting trial, we look into it. Because domain, you don't know which domains, like recruiting dashboard, all domain related to recruiting. We should not put no, like we should not get extra access also to that. Could also be wrong. Recruitment. There's some issue in the worklets. And I cannot look into the security of this as well. If you go now view security of security item and then bulletin worklet, maybe that way we can. They have only my company, they only two dashboard, and they were pretty simple. Client, I'm telling you, you know they don't ask for many complex. The complex ones are only for learning and talent and for learning. It is very complex. The compliance dashboards, which we have. It's very tough to migrate all the reports and the dashboards. These are the domain, these are the tasks. If we can create, I need to look into both. Set up announcements. Set up announcements and bulletin worklet. I need to check if system is enabled or not. It doesn't need it. Look into view, bulletin. See this permitted to party groups are these, and I fear you will be a partner someday. This label implement, otherwise implementers. I don't have implementers account. Carol Lee is not an implementer. Because of the road, We cannot see any of these. I think this is some security issue. Well, checking the system and something is not enabled in the system. Maybe some reports we have. We have to enable those reports, like I was telling you. That source effectiveness report is not available in my tenant. I thought, yes, you need to go and check for those security. And since you have the access, no, you can make the risk, but you have to make sure it should not have any downstream impact. Means it should not give any additional access to anybody or database some access from anybody. The security groups which are going to give it should be very accurate. There's some application. Somewhere some domain is not enabled. I think we lost the connection. It came back again. Which connection? My connection was lost. I was saying something disconnected. No, I didn't have anything. I need to look into the security even if it is enabled. Everything is enabled. Still, they have said somewhere that people cannot access each and every feature. Because for domains also know like there's cost included. That is why we had this domain added in our dashboard. Domain cannot be added. And then when we create it, I would have to specify which domains we have. We have defined the one which is needed for worklet campaign. I think we have attached every. Wait a minute. What is your next door? I'm sorry. What is your next doubt? Oh, it's just the dashboard was like it's on my head right now. But you will have client discussion tomorrow. Then you'll have a lot of times. I'll get more idea. Ask them each and every detail. What does mean? How many tab we can add? 6 steps. I think there's no count to the number of times, but we don't generally include more than 8, 9 times. And how does it look like? It works. Try in your sandbox also once. They have one time. Getting started as a workload from my manager. I required for you helpful contact. If I think it can all look at us, maybe we'll do a work. Let me from this helpful management reports and tasks. This is a worklet added. It has 4 items. It's a work bulletin worklet. It has rules. The photo and this is the action like this is the task they have included. Start performance review and it is for worker. Has change of event promotion from individual contributor to management. First like this worklet. Like this task would only be visible for this condition rule and then this stuff will be visible. Then my team's performance and metrics get feedback on work. Can we copy dashboard and then add it standard? We can copy like report. I think we can copy. We can copy all. But this is a bulletin. That would be much easier if we can copy. I don't think. This is how we have to all or not. Cannot go back. No, we cannot copy. I think I don't remember copying any dashboard and it is also not giving in an option. We can create the similar one, but I don't think. Copy is only available for standard reports. I think what I was telling you yesterday, the dashboard where people can interact and they should pass command. That was different. That was for adaptive learning. That has a little more complex. That's not now the regular dashboard like this custom dashboard. They don't have this option. Only if they go now when you go on announcement. And then if somebody wants to post an announcement, that could be possible. But not like what I was thinking. There was a totally different concept. I think adaptive learning is bad. They are using it. They have much more complex dashboard. Got dashboard. You know, like how complex the look known to us and the client doesn't need it for sure. I have seen it for most of the modules for recruitment. I have never seen anybody asking for any custom dashboard. The Workday delivered one is maybe they need to 3 here and there. That's it. But it's not very complex. Apart from the first offer, how's your offer be configured? It's not very complex. It's pretty simple. And who has set the layout? It was configured when they implemented. It would have been right. There is no process change which the client needs right now. No, they are right now, as do for these dashboards.
Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.